Why, hello there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Mr. DB333, and welcome back to the new campaign trail. Last time we were together, we hopped in the shoes of a liberal icon, champion of the underclass, the little man, the minority, iconic Democratic figure, scourge of the Republicans, Donald Trump. We opted in Trump 2012 and had some fun playing as Democratic Trump trying to win re-election against fat fuck Chris Christie. And we did so with a pretty convincing margin at that. It was pretty fun. And it's probably been a month exactly since I recorded. That went up on 4th of July, so it'll be almost a month to the day that I've uploaded anything new campaign trail related, which I do want to apologize for. I've been busy. I've been distracted with other stuff, but I'm back, and I want to hop in and try out something different. So instead of playing a Democrat from New York, we're playing a Democrat from New York. But it's in the 90s, so it's totally different. This guy's actually a Democrat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 1992 Lion. The 1992 presidential election comes to at an uncertain time for the country. As expected, New York Governor Mario Cuomo has clinched the Democratic nomination, promising a return to a New Deal-style government. Meanwhile, President Bush has fended off a challenge from paleoconservative Pat Buchanan, and now seeks to defend his record from both the left and the right. George Bush must find a way to overcome his crumbling popularity due to a struggling economy, party fatigue after 3 GOP terms, and breaking his now infamous no new taxes pledge. Meanwhile, Governor Mario Cuomo starts off with the lead, but expect intense attacks from conservatives on several of his liberal policy positions. Well, we have George Bush, who's not playable, and Ross Perot, who's not playable. But we have this man who is playable indeed. Mario Cuomo, Democrat, governor of New York. Not to be confused with his son, who was also governor of New York, but had to resign for being Italian. It was actually a lot grosser than that. Not that being Italian is gross. Saying demeaning things to women in a sexual manner is gross, though. I forget exactly what Andrew did. His old man seems better, though. Let's stop meandering on that. Mario Cuomo is the governor of New York, having served in that office for nearly 10 years by the time of the 1992 campaign. Cuomo was a relatively unknown figure within the Democratic Party until he delivered the keynote speech at the 1984 DNC, in which he made an emotional defense of traditional New Deal liberalism that electrified the crowd and immediately sparked talk of him as a future presidential candidate. As governor, Cuomo supported many liberal causes such as healthcare reform, combating AIDS, infrastructure projects, education reform, and environmental conservation. His outspoken liberal views on things like capital punishment are sure to be the focus of intense scrutiny by conservatives. You'll need to find a way to thread the needle with moderates while also holding on to his core base. So we have 3 different options. Bob Kerrey from Nebraska, Sam Nunn from Georgia, or Ann Richards from King of the Hill. We're going to go with Ann Richards. I think that's the canon pick anyway. Before I continue, I got this suggested by... fuck off, I don't care about the Sims. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry about that. Ann Richards. No, wait, I have to talk. I got a comment from a TommyL.DayInTheRunaways 820, who's apparently a writer on this. He put in the comment section asking me to play this. And what can I say? I'm a sucker for comments. So I say this. I'm gonna get every mod developer commenting to play their mods, and I won't be able to get to all of them. But hey, thanks for the comment. And I played this before. It seemed fun enough, so I figured, you know what? Let's hop back in with this. I didn't know what else to hop back in with, so I figured, why not this one? Anyway, Ann Richards, a charismatic moderate from Democrat and vocal feminist, offers regional and ideological balance to the ticket. Elected governor of Texas in 1990, she, like yourself, gained national prominence with a compelling 1988 DNC speech. Mixing folksy charm with sharp wit, Richards delivered memorable one-liners against George Bush. Enjoying broad popularity across party lines, her influence could be pivotal in winning southern states, especially Texas, a Democratic must-win. As a potential first female vice president, Richards would energize women nationwide. However, with only one term as governor and lacking national or military experience, her impact on the ticket's foreign policy stance might be limited, an area already targeted by Republicans. Well, what are we going to do there other than do our best? So this is the start of the map of the game. We're not doing too hot. Oh, God. We got New York, we got Maryland, and we got D.C. We cannot neglect the D.C. vote. That's really about it, though. We almost have Florida. It's not looking good so far. December 1991. It looked very bad for a while, but last minute you were able to resolve a budget crisis in your home state of New York. Immediately afterwards, you boarded a private plane and made to New Hampshire just in time to meet the filing deadline for the primary. As crowds of adoring Democrats and anxious journalists await to hear your first statement as a presidential candidate, what will you tell them? For 12 long years, Republicans have turned their backs on the laborers, farmers, and the great mass of decent citizens of this country. People like my parents who owned and operated a small grocery store in Queens and taught me the virtues of making an honest living and the need for compassionate government that will provide for the least among us. That, my fellow Americans, is why I'm running for president. We are going to restore the proud liberal tradition of the United States and bring hope to a troubled nation. And we are going to make sure that nobody is left behind. The crowd erupts in cheers and spontaneous chants of Mario, Mario. Immediately your name is on the lips of every commentator on CNN, and your announcement gets extensive coverage on the nightly news. There's beginning to be a renewed sense of hope for the Democrats. At long last, liberals have a candidate they can get excited about. What did that do for us? We're ahead in West Virginia. We might have already been ahead in West Virginia, though. We're falling behind in Mass. Jesus. Right. With Tom Harkin in the race, the Iowa caucus is practically ignored. Leaving New Hampshire primary, even more important, polls show you ahead of competitors, and most notably Paul Zongas. Though Governor Clinton is gaining. The rest of February, and of course the March primaries come up as well. Where'd you like to focus, Governor? You know, this Bill Clinton kick is going to give us hell in the South. I want to focus our sights on his support by getting the endorsement of Jesse Jackson and civil rights organizations. It's time we spend money on states like Florida, Oklahoma, and Texas. Let's throw in Missouri for good measure. Governor, securing Reverend Jackson's support, though he strong-armed you a bit during the joint press conference, will undoubtedly boost your standing with black voters. However, recent polls indicate Governor Clinton's gains in New Hampshire among working-class white voters. Let's double down on Texas for now. In the wake of his own recent controversy, it was revealed that your chief rival, Bill Clinton, also made some disparaging remarks about you in a phone call with a woman named Jennifer Flowers. In it, he called you a mean son of a bitch and said you act like a mafioso. Do you have any comments to make about this? These remarks are deeply offensive and disturbing. Regardless of our political differences, I hope we can all agree these kind of attacks are totally uncalled for, particularly given the stakes of this election. Clinton needs to apologize immediately. Shame was probably the best tactic to navigate this delicate situation. Clinton did apologize and called on supporters to not let this incident affect their support of you this November. You've also gained a lot of sympathy and support for your emotional response. July 92. Congratulations, Governor. While Bill Clinton gave you a tough battle, you emerged victorious as a Democratic presidential candidate. As you walk onto the stage in Madison Square Garden to a ferocious hometown welcome, what will be your message as you kick off the campaign? We stand at a crossroads in 1992. After 12 years of triple-down economics, the wealthy thriving, while the poor scramble for the scraps that fall from the table. Presidents Reagan and Bush ignoring the needs of the working Americans. I pledge to restore compassion to our government. With your help, we will make sure no one is left behind at the side of the trail, and we will all make it together. Your supporters instantly recognize the reference to your 1984 convention speech, which launched you onto the national scene and erupted in unbridled cheers. Even moderates retired to Reaganomics and can't help but be inspired by your hopeful words. There we go. So, I want to distribute my visits. Texas, Georgia, one or two to Ohio. I think North Carolina is potentially flippable as well, so I'll visit North Carolina. There is a lot of debate about whether or not homosexuals should be allowed to serve in the military. What are your thoughts? I believe homosexuals have every right to serve in the military, so long as they aren't open about it. Safe compromise for many moderates and liberals given the national mood on gay rights, although some in your base were hoping for more. President Bush has come under fire from all sides for breaking his infamous no taxes pledge made in his 1988 RNC acceptance speech. Is there anything you would like to say about this? President Bush made an irresponsible promise to the American people, then he broke it. How can anyone believe what he says now when he just reversed the course a few months ago? This November, vote for someone you can trust. Trust is an important issue of a lot of voters, and polls show Bush lagging badly in that area. It's not necessarily that he raised taxes, it's the fact that he made the promise a key part of his platform and broke it. Trusting a knife here can only help your cause. There we go. I'm going to grab my water real quick. It's all the way over on my bed. I went on a walk before this, and I didn't keep my water next to me before I record like a dumbass. Now I can't open the cap. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead. Ohio. Despite entering the race in February 92, and achieving remarkable numbers on the polls, businessman Morash Bros announced his intention to drop out. It's unclear where his support will go, Mr. Governor. We must highlight Perot's abysmal plan for working and poor Americans. He wants to slash benefits for millions, all in a misguided quest for a balanced budget. Let me tell you, we can achieve fiscal responsibility through steady economic growth, not on the back of hard-working Americans. Solid strategy, sir. However, just a day after your campaign released a statement on the matter, Mr. Perot shocked the nation by announcing his intention to drop out of the race amidst rumors of turmoil in his campaign office. What's your opinion on environmentalism? Well, let's check the polls real quick now. That's looking a lot better for us. I like this a lot more, let me tell you. Alright. Yeah, this is doable. I mean, we're already winning. Just gotta not lose. Would you vote additional funding to this as president? I don't plan to discuss environmentalism much, as I prefer to focus on the economic issues confronting us today. Environmentalism isn't a huge issue in this election, especially compared to the economy, so this is a safe response. Kentucky, we can win without this. Do North Carolina. It looks like we attack Bush on the economy this fall. Bush's economic policies have been a disaster for the country. Look no further than the current recession to see what I mean. In every instance, he has sided with the wealthy special interests and against the millions of decent people, struggling just to earn a living. Unlike him, I will keep the concerns of the working men and women of America foremost in my mind. The choice couldn't be more clear. The economy is an albatross around Bush's neck, and your blistering attacks have made the contrast between the two of you crystal clear. As Bush's numbers continue to collapse, hitting him on this theme at every opportunity will be critical to winning over undecided moderates. What are your thoughts on NAFTA? Do you think it's a good trade agreement? Let's see how we're doing. We're behind a little bit now, actually. Well, we're gaining, closing the gap in some of these states. I don't think we'll get up here, but anyone who knows me knows that I've always stood for the honest working people of this country. As president, I will do all I can to negotiate this agreement so it offers much-needed protections to American labor. Although impossible to make everyone happy, this is a good middle ground to strike between appealing to your working class base and reassuring moderates that you still plan on negotiating with foreign nations. Yeah, look at that. I'll save any visits for Ohio up until the end. I don't know if we'll need to visit immediately. Let's do Georgia. Your selection of the bombastic Texas governor, Ann Richards, as vice president, certainly turned heads. She's already enjoyed popularity among the press and certain women's groups within the party. Is there anything specific you'd like to highlight about your choice of running mates? You know, during my battle for my party's nomination and my rigorous debate with Governor Clinton and others, I gained an even deeper understanding of the economic situation facing the South, the all-too-common feeling in our nation of being left behind. Governor Richards sees this too, and I'm glad to call a partner. A partner? Sorry. Ann Richards, despite her relative lack of experience, is a real hit with the national press corps, and has charisma you simply don't possess. Though some activist types might not be thrilled, she is widely considered to be a good choice. There we go. We're picking up at a decent amount in these states. Might need to visit Texas in a little bit. Do you support additional gun control measures at the federal level? The crime rate under Reagan and Bush has gone completely out of control, and it's long past time we did something about it. We need to get assault rifles off the street, as well as implement strict background checks to stop guns from falling into the hands of criminals. Keeping our families safe from gun violence will be a top priority in the Cuomo administration. This is exactly what your supporters want to hear. It also pleases moderates who are tired of a crime epidemic that's been sweeping the nation for the past 12 years. Second Amendment advocates are outraged, but many of them are already going for Bush. Overall, public opinion is on your side here. There we go. Where are we going? Visited Texas. President Bush went... Oh, wait. No, we're reading the wrong one first. Is there anything you'd like to say about the Rodney King riots? Let me start by saying that I fully condemn the rioters. They were doing a great disservice to the cause. There are more peaceful ways of protesting injustice in our country. With that said, the entire situation would never have happened if not for Reagan and Bush's irresponsible slashing of multiple federal programs that provide much-needed assistance to urban areas. It strikes a good balance between condemning the riots and reminding voters of Bush's policy failings. There we go. We're picking up in some places. It's close in these two states over here. Catch it back up in North Carolina. Georgia's pretty close, too. How much, if at all, will you emphasize your Catholicism during the campaign? I don't know what Bible the Republicans are reading from, but mine says that Jesus called us to feed and clothe the poor, to care for them and devote ourselves to the service of others. I'm a proud Catholic who believes in a just and loving God, and I want to get that message across as often as possible. The American people are coming to know you for your humanitarianism and your stories of how your faith has shaped your politics. As long as you don't do a Playboy interview, you should be alright at any rate. Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy. Let's do North Carolina. Will you push for healthcare reform as president? If so, how far are you willing to go? There's much work to be done to improve the state of healthcare in our country. We are committed to working with both the public and private sector to find a compromise solution that will alleviate the burden being carried by ordinary Americans. This is a safe answer, appeal to most liberals and moderates, although many on the left are disappointed they aren't pushing for a single-payer insurance. At a town hall in Cincinnati last night, one of Bush's supporters strongly insinuated that you were in league with the mafia, that you won the Democratic nomination through backroom chicanery and extortion. This has become a common attack against you among certain right-wing groups. Bush immediately shut down the supporters' line of questioning and say that he would like to stick to the issues, but the story was featured prominently in the news that night. Is there anything you would like to say in response to it? These absurd claims have no basis in fact. I've spent my entire life pushing back against these ridiculous stereotyping of Italian Americans, and I will call on Bush to unequivocally disavow and condemn all these baseless attacks. If he's serious about sticking to the issues, that's the least he ought to do. Oh, thank God, no evidence backed these claims. Furthermore, Bush's response at the press conference was awkward and defensive. He feigned ignorance and then got defensive when asked about the rumors spread by his campaign about him. Let's see. I'm not too worried about Texas right now. That might bite me in the ass later, but right now, North Carolina. Would you like your wife Matilda to be involved in the campaign at all? And if so, in what role? Matilda and I have had a wonderful marriage for the past 38 years, and she's been a cherished partner in both my personal and political life. I want to make as many campaign appearances with her and my family as possible. The image of your large, close-knit family does inspire conservatives and even SNL to portray you as something of a Vito Corleone character. Overall, though, your family and your wife remain popular with voters. Some pro-choice advocates are concerned about your conflicted views on abortion. What are your thoughts on this issue? As a Catholic, I'm personally opposed to abortion. Nope, it's only done as a last resort. But I have nothing but complete support for Roe v. Wade, and I don't believe the government has any place in banning the practice. This is an expected response for you, and one that should keep both liberals and moderates on board, although some activists were hoping for more. That doesn't help us too much in the South. Upper South, we're okay. Well, Virginia, no, but we weren't winning that. Georgia. Once again, surprising everyone, Ross Perot's declared his re-entry into the presidential race. It remains unclear how this will impact the dynamics of the race, but it's evident that his polling is nowhere near where it was in the summer. You know, having Perot in this fight probably just serves our cause. I don't want to take him too seriously, but if we're questioning on the matter, we'll say, we admire the way he's captured the attention of the American people, and then we'll emphasize my record of sound fiscal management in New York. After some polls indicated a weakened position for Bush in the days following Perot's re-entry to the race, turmoil seems to be bubbling over in the GOP camp. This can only bode well for your campaign, and we can remain optimistic. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, we're ahead in Louisiana. Almost ahead in Nevada. Beautiful. What are your thoughts on foreign policy now the Cold War's over? Do you have any plans to reduce defense spending? I'm trying to remember which one is the best here. I don't plan to reduce defense spending by much as president, but I don't want to increase it either given we are at peace. I prefer to maintain our current level of preparedness to keep America as an active diplomatic presence on the world stage in the defense of human rights. This is a safe mainstream answer that will help you appeal to moderates in regions you need to win. Most Americans want to maintain our place as a leader in world affairs, but also want to remain at peace and use diplomacy rather than troops to resolve conflicts wherever possible. I'm holding out pretty well in a lot of these closer areas. I haven't been able to win Florida. I don't think I want to gamble and try to win it. We'll focus on making sure we get these states. Save a pocket visit for Ohio as well. We do North Carolina. No, actually Georgia. Are you willing to... I'm a New York accent for this. Are you willing to participate in a debate with your opponent, George Bush and Ross Perot? Look forward to taking President Bush to task for the economic insecurity our country faces today. Mr. Perot's little more than a distraction as far as I'm concerned, and the president should be, by far, our main focus. The fact that you practically ignored Ross Perot wasn't lost on many viewers, nor especially the political press. But with the president facing a double onslaught of attacks on economic woes today, this might have been the best strategy, sir. There we go. We're even heading to Tennessee, look at that. Democratic Leadership Council, a group of centrist Democrats that includes Bill Clinton, Al Gore, and Joe Biden, amongst others, opposed your nomination and still unsure whether or not to officially support your campaign. Despite your cold relationship with each other and considering your need to make inroads with moderate Democrats, will you meet with them and try and get endorsement? I'm thinking of sending my running mate Ann Richards to pray the DLC to endorse me. Governor Richards is a mainstream Democrat and can get along with everyone. I don't believe DLC holds much sway with voters anyway. Ann Richards, of course, being a Southern and fairly conservative Democrat, did warm many DLC members to your cause. That, as well as your standing in the polls against Bush, have convinced the DLC to endorse your candidacy and urge a Cuomo-Richards victory in November. Ooh. Focus on North Carolina for now. Well, will he continue to attack Bush over the Iran-Contra affair? Will contrast Bush's involvement in the scandal with my clean record as the governor of New York? This sort of thing will not happen if I'm elected. Contrasting your own record with Bush's should help some moderates make up their mind. There we go. Losing a little in Florida, but it is what it is there. Will make any changes to the war on drugs as president? I have serious concerns about the way the previous Republican administrations have been conducting the war on drugs. Of course, violent offenders need to be sent to prison, but Reagan and Bush have been focusing far too much on punishment for nonviolent offenses, and not for rehabilitation and reducing urban poverty. My administration will focus on our efforts on addressing the root causes of drug addiction. Most Americans are wary of the seeming lack of progress in the war on drugs, and many experts believe that rehabilitation is a better strategy for tackling drug abuse than criminalization approach favored by Bush and Reagan. Or I had a lot of the Upper South, actually. I'm surprised. Do I dare risk... Fuck, I'll try to lock down Tennessee. Do you want to highlight any of your accomplishments as governor of New York while on campaign trail? I want to discuss my push for healthcare reform in New York, such as lowering prescription drug prices, enacting the most extensive public health plan in the nation to tackle the AIDS epidemic, which, may I remind you, Reagan and Bush did virtually nothing about. Your initiatives in healthcare reform are broadly popular. Furthermore, most people feel like Reagan and Bush didn't do nearly enough to help combat the AIDS epidemic, so reminding them of that you had a comprehensive plan to help fight it can only help you. Well, there we go. Are you willing to rule out any further increases to the federal income tax if elected president? The first thing we need to do is reverse Reagan's massive tax breaks to the wealthy, which Bush supported and upheld, and make sure they start paying their fair share. Just by doing this alone, we can increase revenue, provide relief to the less privileged, and start on the road to economic recovery. This is the expected response from you, and it's exactly what your supporters want to hear. Bush is still attacking you on your liberalism, but you have the upper hand with voters tiring of Reaganomics and the economic downturn. I'm regretting that visit to Tennessee. North Carolina. There has been talks among women's rights organizations of reviving efforts to ratify the ERA via the three-state strategy, despite Bush-backed from social conservatives, which support these efforts as president. I've supported this amendment from the beginning, and I still do to this day. I would be proud to stand alongside and support the brave women who fought tirelessly for equal rights under the law. Many labor unions have historically opposed the ERA, but they are starting to come around as of late. Ultimately, the ERA is not a huge issue in this election, but it could help increase enthusiasm amongst some female voters. Oh yeah, look at that. Look, we could probably get Tennessee if we put the rest of our visits into there. Public opinion was split on the first Gulf War, but that changed dramatically after a quick victory for the Allied coalition. Do you support our actions in this engagement, or would you support further military intervention in the Middle East going further? Well, I did not support the war at the time, but have since considered changing my mind on the matter. Armed forces won an easy victory over Saddam Hussein, and showed the world that America will never back down in the face of tyranny. We should not take intervention off the table for any future engagements either. This helps salvage some ground with pro-war moderates, but on the other hand, your anti-war supporters feel betrayed by your change of heart, and Bush is almost certainly going to attack you as a flip-flopper. Shit. Not do too well for us. I might need to use that pocket visit. I'll see if I can salvage it with what I got left. Let's do North Carolina. Come to under multiple criticism. Considerable criticism from conservatives for your consistent, outspoken opposition to the death penalty, including multiple vetoes of legislation that would establish capital punishment in New York. I'd like to respond to these attacks. Well, I oppose the death penalty, but if elected, I would be willing to allow individual states to legislate this matter. Many accuse you of flip-flopping after you consistently oppose this as governor, but the plain truth is the death penalty is pretty popular right now. And maybe it's just best to concede the issue and move on. Okay, we're coming back together here. A new head of the Bush campaign insisted that your liberal policies would cause the deficit to skyrocket and destroy the economic process made over the last 12 years. How will you respond to this? What we've seen over the past two Republican presidencies is nothing short of a fiscal nightmare. Bush wants to talk about the deficit. Let's talk about how it's risen exponentially every year since Reagan took office. I offer myself as a pragmatic choice in this election, will reduce wasteful spending, and finally get our deficit under control. This angle won't appeal as much to liberals, but it could help with moderates and voters who are considering supporting Perot. Well, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Do Tennessee. Ah, fuck. Okay. Actually, yeah, we're ahead in Ohio. Do some visits to the Upper South. We got these. I think we got these two locked down. Maybe we can get North Carolina. Maybe. Let's see. Where do you spend the final days of the campaign? We're going to travel down the southeast from North Carolina to Georgia before finally making our final stop in Florida. Good luck tomorrow. All right, boys, here we go. I found a bit of the war question, I think. But we'll get Georgia at least. I'm sure these states are going to be close, but I think we got them. Same in Ohio. Indiana, I wasn't expecting. Within 5 points, so that's not too bad. Mass we got. If we didn't get Mass, I'd be very concerned. Rhode Island. There we go. Kentucky we got. That's not a guarantee, so I'm happy about that. We're getting love in the Northeast. I expected that. Georgia we got. That's pretty big. By a decent margin as well. We got Ohio, which I didn't have to visit. That's nice. Missouri as well. Okay. Gonna be curious about these states. No Tennessee. Finna point. We did get Arkansas though. That's pretty good. Oh, we got Texas. That's it's over now. Oh, we got North Carolina too. There we go. We got Louisiana. We got Iowa. Huge, huge. Are we going to get 400? We're going to get Hawaii, so that's going to be another 4. 402. Look at that. 402 to 136 to 0 to 0. Congratulations, you have won the 1992 election. In spite of hard-fought challenge for both George Bush and Ross Perot, you've held on and became president. You were always a favorite to win Governor Cuomo, but as the race went on, the Bush campaign was increasingly eager to try a deja vu tactic, tying you and your beliefs in with Dukakis and Carter before you. As you bask in the victory, it's worth noting that your party still has divisions. The more centrist-aligned Democratic Leadership Council wing of the party is not particularly fond of you or your policies and will likely align with Republicans against your opposition to NAFTA and free trade. As for 96, it's unclear who the hell the Republicans will nominate. The press has already started speculating that Pat Buchanan's going to run again, as well as Bob Dole, Phil Gramm, and perhaps even Vice President Quayle. Time will tell, though, and it's time for you to rest. Oh, look at that map. That is beautiful. Whew. Blue Tennessee would have been cool, but that's alright. Probably could you probably could optimize this a little bit more and get Florida. That might be a little too RNG dependent. Probably your better bet will be Tennessee. But look, oh, look, actually the Canada result is actually Ross Perot wins some states there. Well, which ones would he win? I'm gonna guess. What states would Ross Perot win here? Alaska, probably. Dakota, not the Dakotas. Not Indiana. Kansas? No. Not Idaho, no. That's got, no, 10 points. What states would he win here? Maine? You know, I know the writers are here. They watch the videos. They can tell me what the Canada results are here for that, especially the Perot states. Maybe, hopefully. Any further reading? Nope. Let's check the results by state, mainly. Highest Cuomo percentage. Well, DC. After that, Yep. Highest Perot percentage. Maybe that'll help us. Maine, Alaska, maybe Idaho. So that's 4, 3, 4. That's 11. That's 16. That's not quite it. Wyoming. 14, no. Kansas? State Bureau is supposed to win Kansas. 4, 3, 4. 11. No, that's over. I don't know. Let's check closest states. That's usually the most fun. North Carolina, 10,000 votes. Decided that. Colorado, about 10,000. Florida. About 40K. Nevada, 3K. And Kentucky, about 15K. Well, there we go. Yeah. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave things there, but thanks always for watching, everyone. If you like, if not, feel free to dislike. If you have any comments or feedback or suggestions from us, in the future, whether you're just a viewer or a mod developer, leave a comment section below. I read all the comments I get. I do appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Check out my various links down in the description box below. And yeah. Especially the Twitch. Follow the Twitch. I haven't streamed on there in a while, but I'll usually do these live. I didn't do it this time, but I'll usually film these live so you can commentate and say hello to, and forever be documented on the YouTube. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now, my friends. I thank you all for watching. My name has been Mr. Dogboy333, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye now.